Whoa, this is not good. Look at this. My extension cord's almost burned up. This thing overheated. I am so lucky that this did not catch on fire. Hey everyone, welcome to Tigner Adventures. Today, we just finished an excessive heat warning where it got up to 104 degrees, and oh my heck, that was hot. So one of the things that we noticed with our mini split was that as the temperature went up, so did the current draw of the mini split. We typically run it in eco mode, so it usually runs 6 to 8 amps. It's just sitting there running, and that does pretty good up to like 95, and that's just kind of where it's at. But man, when it hit 104, it kind of went into high gear, trying to keep the motorhome cool, and so we were clear up to drawing 15 amps at that point, and we are plugged into a 20 amp breaker and a 20 amp plug. And if you look here, you can see the difference with this plug. It's got a side prong on it, which means it's 20 amp, not just the standard 15 amp plugs. Now, even though the plug has that side bar on there, it'll also take a 15 amp extension cord to plug in there, and that's what we've been running on. It's a heavy duty extension cord, but it's still only rated for 15 amps. And so we've been running that extension cord, and then when I went to take the extension cord apart, this is what happened to my adapter. It had overheated so much that this little adapter just came all apart because it just wasn't rated for that high of an amperage. Also on my extension cord itself, now it's all, if you look here, it's all black and everything. So it's just generated, these connections, if I hold on them and things, they're getting pretty darn warm. They're just generating a lot of excessive heat because they're just not making a very good connection, and they're getting really hard to pull apart because it's kind of like they're welding themselves together, and that's what happened to that other little plug. So with that said, I decided, I need to upgrade my system, because if you look here on my generator, it has one of these 20 amp plugs also. And so I decided, well, I think I'll just buy me a heavy duty extension cord that actually has a 20 amp plug on it, because that can plug into my generator. It can also plug into a house 20 amp plug, and it will give me a little bit better current. And this is our new extension cord. So at first glance, you can see that it is pretty thick. So that's my finger. So it's as thick as my finger. It's actually a 10 gauge wire instead of 12. And typically 12 gauge is rated for 20 amp. But I was talking to my son-in-law, and he's an electrical engineer, and he said, well, that's true when it's solid, but when it's stranded, then it might not be able to carry the same amount of current. So that's why for this 20 amp cable, they've actually used 10 gauge stranded wire, so it goes back and forth and moves around real easy. You can see that this one has the little side prong on it, so it's a little different than a standard extension cord that you see. It's actually rated for 20 amps, so it's got that 20 amp plug on there, and then this side is 20 amp also. And so that way my battery charger, the idea is I go from the wall, or the generator, and I go into my charger, and it actually has this 20 amp plug on it also. And so I've been using this little adapter to make it work on the other extension cords, but all of this is just getting way too warm, and this particular idea of how to make this work is just not working in the long run. Now, connections on an extension cord over time, even in the boxes that you plug into in the RV parks, they start getting loose, and when they get loose, then it doesn't make as good as a connection point, and so it generates heat. And so I've used this a lot for 3 years, actually 4 years. And so just plugging these in and out and messing with them all, I think all these extension cords are just getting old and the connections just aren't as tight as they used to be, and so that's why it's causing more issues now than it used to, because I've always ran our battery charger with these extension cords and haven't had really that much of an issue. So and they've worked just fine. So it's just the fact that over time things wear out, and this brand new extension cord is going to give me the extra life that I actually need to be safe, because you know, I don't want electrical fire. And so I bought this, and I've also bought a new dongle here that I can plug into a 30 amp plug, and I can plug the 20 amp cord into this, and this will be helpful when I'm at a park and I'm actually using my my surge protector. I can plug this into the surge protector, and then my 20 amp extension cord will still plug into this, and so I've got these two pieces. This will make it work really nice even when I'm in a park. The difference in the size of this cable, that is a major difference, and so we will definitely be able to pull a lot more current through there without any issues. Okay, so that takes us to our next portion of the video. I actually wanted to show you my surge protector, and I wanted to kind of point out some of the nice things about it and why I use it. So if you look here, I've just set it up here. I'm actually just plugged into this extension cord with this little adapter because my surge protector is 30 amp. And so you can buy this in 30 amp version or a 50 amp version. This is Power WatchDog. It's got a little LED display right here on the side that tells the state of what's going on. And on the side of the actual box here, it lists out all the air codes, so you don't have to go search for anything, look things up or anything like that. It's just all right here. So this unit is about 150 bucks, give or take. And the 50 amp is a little bit more. But the nice thing about it is that if you get a surge on your line and it blows it out, then you can actually take this off and replace the module inside. You just get a hold of Hughes Electronics and they send you another module, and then you put it in there and you're all set. So that's one of the nice things compared to the other ones, where if they blow, then you go buy it again, and that's another 150 or 200 bucks or whatever that you have to spend. And in this case, you don't. The little modules to replace them, of course, depends on whether it's 30 or 50. But you know, for my 30 amp one, it's like $35 or something like that. So a little bit easier to swallow than just buying it all brand new again. So, and the nice thing about this one is too, it does have this little thing right here that you can actually, when you plug this into the breaker, you know, into your breaker box at the RV park, you can put a big cable around this and lock it to the pole so nobody can just walk off with it. Because some of the complaints about this particular one is that this WatchDog lights up when you turn it on, it turns white. And that is because it's telling you that everything's okay. If there's a problem, it'll turn red. Well, people think that that's kind of a, you know, attracts thieves to it and things like that. But yeah, you can lock it up if you're really worried about it. The visual is actually pretty nice. Before you actually plug anything in, whether you're in the RV park or here on an extension cord or whatever, you should make sure that the breaker is off. That way there's no arcing or anything like that. I have had a situation where I was at a work site and I was trying to plug a device in, it wouldn't go in right and everything, and it started sparking. It's like, what is going on with this? And all of a sudden the whole thing just burst into flames, and I didn't get burned, luckily, but I just threw it down on the ground, and luckily I wasn't around any weeds or anything that could catch fire. It was on a concrete pad, so I just threw that down. So that's the problem with just hot plugging things in, and so it's always better to make sure the actual power breaker is off. Plug all your rig in and everything, get everything set, and then we're going to turn that on. And you'll notice that this comes on, and you'll listen here, hear that click. It actually went through and tested everything, made sure that the line had the right frequency, the line had the right voltage level and everything before it actually clicked on and started sending the power to my rig. so it manages that whole thing and I don't have to worry about it. And the nice thing is it also has this app that you run on your phone that links to the unit with Bluetooth, and you can actually monitor how many watts is being pulled along with the number of amps. So in this particular case we're at 16.1 amps and we are pulling 1338 watts. It also shows us what our line voltage is right now, which is 120. And then the big thing here is you can reset this back anytime you want to start over, but it keeps track of the kilowatt hours that are actually being used with this app. So I could reset it back to 0 when I get to a particular park, and then I could just monitor how much my usage is the whole time I'm actually there. So you can see that that works out pretty nice, having that using that surge protector to kind of manage everything, just for the fact that I can just see what my power usage is, I can see what the voltage thing is, and it's protecting me, and it's got a warranty with it, so if it does cause issues in the trailer, then I can always file a claim. If it burns up, I can get a new one. So that's really pretty nice. So that's why I really like the WatchDog. And I have used a couple other ones, and cheaper versions, that burned up, and then I had to go buy them again. And so this way I have never had an issue with this one, but if I do, then I could actually just replace the component inside really easily. So one thing I wanted to show you, I've turned the breaker off, and I'm going to go ahead and unplug this. Another way that I used to check my power all the time, and you'll see people doing this all the time, is they use a little thing like this that's just got some lights on it, right? And it tells you if the 2 yellow ones are lit, then everything's great, right? So if I kind of zoom in there a little bit as I turn this on, you can see that these 2 lights are lit up right here. And if I had a red light or one of those is missing, then it's not wired correctly. Well, there's a lot of situations where that can give you a lot of false positives, I guess you'd call it, that it's really not working that good and you really don't know what the voltage is and things like that. So I want to show you a different one that I use that I really like a lot, just for testing the lines out. So I have this one here. This one is a digital monitor, and the nice thing about it is it actually gives me a readout of what's going on. So it actually tells me the frequency that the line is at right now, also tells me the voltage, and it's in real time, so I can see exactly what's going on. It has an alarm, so if it doesn't have a ground, then it alarms, and so I know right away. Now the Power WatchDog will do the same thing. But I'm just talking about an inexpensive way just to check it really quick. You can use something like this. This is really nice. All this stuff's in my description below, and you can look at those on Amazon and just kind of browse through that if you're interested, just to kind of figure out what they are and everything. But this really works pretty nice. And so I'm going to plug this in. Again, the breaker's off. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in here. And I've actually been in an RV park once where I plugged this in and I had no ground. And so I went to the office and they sent maintenance out, and he's like, oh, wow, that's interesting. It was broke. That's nice that you told us about it. So anyway, they fixed it and I was good. But it's important that all the wiring is correct. So I've got it right here, and if you look at that, you can kind of just see it, what's going to happen. It's turning on, so it's 125 volts. The frequency is 60 hertz, which is what we typically always run. And now we've balanced out to 123, 120. So we're kind of just going back and forth. Now all that's going to do is just flash that back and forth. Now, if there was a fault, then this red light would come on and tell me, and it would actually tell me in the display there what the fault was. So it could be the hot and neutral are backwards, or it could be that there's no ground. There's a lot of situations that are not good for your RV. Okay, so again, your RV runs on 120 volts of power. This is telling me it's 120, and so I'm all set. Now I do have this adapter here. You can see it's just a regular 110 plug there, but on this side is 30 amp. And so what I'd do is take that and plug it into this, plug it into the 30 amp connector before I would plug my motorhome in, and then turn the breaker on and kind of check it out. The nice thing about the WatchDog, I don't have to do any of that anymore, and I can just see it right on my phone what's going on, and it's not going to let me plug in unless the power is good. It's not going to transfer over. And so that's really nice about that particular surge protector. But again, you know, they cost a little bit more money. This is like, I can't remember the exact price, but it's a lot less than a big surge protector, but it has its place, and the surge protector has its place. All right, so you can see there's a few different things that you can use to check out your power and maybe even monitor. There's other surge protector type things out there you can look at and everything. If you watch this video, that's my video of when my microwave burned up. That's the reason I bought my Power WatchDog, was because I used the little digital meter to check my voltage before I plugged in at the 1,000 Trails out there on the West Coast, and it said I had 110 volts, so I thought I was just fine. Well, later when I was having issues with the microwave and then it just quit, I went out to check the power on the pole, and I was at 100 volts. That was with nothing on. And so the power just kept dropping, and then when I tried to turn something on, it went way down. So I ended up switching over to my battery charger, and to, you know, charge my batteries with that bad power, and just to make it through that particular weekend. Right after that, we ended up replacing our microwave, and I went out and bought the Power WatchDog, because the nice thing about it is that when it's monitoring the power, if it drops below 104 volts, it automatically shuts off. If it goes over like 130 or 135 volts, it automatically shuts off. And then it stays off for like 90 seconds until the power, you know, once the power comes on and it's all good, it has to be good for 90 seconds, and then it will go ahead and turn back on again. So it does a lot to protect your rig and the appliances that are in it. So hopefully that is important to you also. And then hopefully, you know, you kind of look at your wiring and things, make sure that you're not creating a wire hazard or fire hazard like I was. Check this out. So hopefully this has been of some value to you, but that's all I have for now. So I'll just say my goodbyes at this point, and we'll hope to see you down the road, and if not, we'll just see you on our next video. So thanks for watching.